What's poppin', Kings? Hope all is well. Today we're going to be talking about when you're in semen retention. No fap, it's important to think bigger. It's important to think more grand ideas, because what's the point of thinking small in this life? What is the point? Now understand this. I believe that the longer you go in semen retention, you don't have to be 100,000 days or whatever. You can even be 2 weeks. But I feel like the longer that you go, the more you are connected with the Most High, the more you're connected with God. You may not believe, in the spirit, in Christ, but I do. So whatever you believe in, the longer you go, you're more connected to whatever source that you believe in. Let's put it like that. But to me, I believe that the longer that I go on semen retention, I'm connected to the Most High God. So what I'm saying is you have to think bigger, because your ideas, your mind is going to become more clear. You're going to be more focused. So you can either do two things. You can either waste that on chasing women, or you can put that same sexual energy that you have into your grind, into your goals, into whatever that may be. I'm a firm believer is you get what you give. So the more you put out into the world, the more value you put out, of course, the more you're going to get back. Value can come in many forms. It doesn't have to be just finances. It doesn't have to be just finances. So understand that you can give value and get value in a lot of different ways. It's more things that are valuable than just finances. Now finances, yes, we want to be paid. We want to be, compensated for the hard work and value that we put out into the world. But all the time, understand it's not going to be that. For real. So it's important to think bigger ideas when you're on semen retention. There's no point of just wasting that. Okay, I'm gonna try to get this little quick buck, attract these women for 30 days, and then I'm blowing it. I'm blowing my seed. I'm just giving these women my vigor, and then you're back to square one. No, Kings, no, King. This is what you want to do. That energy, when you get those urges, when you get those sexual urges, don't just go on the Pornhub. Don't just go hit up that woman that you know is gonna let you smack. Don't do that. You feel what I'm saying? Drop down, do some push-ups, go to the gym. If you got a side hustle, start working on that. If you play music and you're trying to get better at an instrument, put that same energy into your craft, into playing the instrument. If you got a business meeting, put that same energy into conducting that business meeting to the best of your abilities. You feel what I'm saying? Use that sexual energy. It talks about this in Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, sexual transmutation. You can use that same sexual energy that has you aroused, and you can transmute that to something else. You can transmute that and transfer that to something else, Kings. I transfer a lot of my energy into these videos. I transfer a lot of my energy into business meetings. I transfer a lot of my sexual energy into my workouts and things of that nature, so on and so forth. I'm more focused. It has caused me to think bigger ideas than what I did before. And even if I am thinking some of the same ideas as I was before I was on semen retention, now I have the willpower, now I have the focus, and now I have the clarity to pursue them in a more efficient way. Instead of just saying, oh, I want to do this, and never pursuing it. But since I have a better sense of what I'm doing it for, my reason, my why, because everybody's reason for doing semen retention is different. But since I have a better sense of clarity and more willpower, I'm able to pursue my goals more efficiently. I'm able to see, okay, this is for me, this is not for me. This thing is for me, this is not for me. Whatever works for everybody else is not going to work for me. Understand that. You have to understand whatever works for me may not work for you. You have to find out what works for you. You can watch as many YouTube videos as you want, but you can't copy everything I do. You can't copy everything that the next person does. You can't copy everything that the person, so on and so forth. You got to focus on what the things that you're good at, your skills. You feel what I'm saying? Like I said, if you don't have any skills, use that sexual energy that you have to transmute that into learning a skill, into putting 10 to 12 hours in, and then starting from there and expanding. Because I'll say this, the first 20 hours you're learning something is going to be the most difficult. But once you can get past that first curve, you're setting yourself up for success. A lot of people with anything, you know, I did some research. Most people quit within the first 20 hours of trying something because they're like, oh, it's too hard. But the way to be successful is to see what everybody else is doing and do the opposite. Whatever it is that you're pursuing, if you see that everybody else is doing this, okay, and that's not getting them success, literally just take a self-analysis, think, use your brain, and be like, okay, they're doing this and it's not working. What can I do to set me apart? And boom. Now you're creating a whole different lane. Now you're creating a whole different path. Now understand this, there's nothing new underneath the sun, but the good thing about history and research and biographies, we can learn from people that came before us. We can learn from people that came before us, and we can use their tactics and use their techniques to apply them to our life. And, you know, just trial and error. Whatever works for us, it works for us. Whatever works for you, works for you. But we got to think bigger when we're on semen retention. We have to think way bigger, because we have that right. We have the right to think bigger. We have the right to think and pursue bigger, better ideas, more powerful, stronger ideas. So if you're watching this video, kings, or some queens watching my video, I challenge you all, think bigger. Think bigger. You know, if you tired of applying for jobs in a certain field, become the boss. It may take some time, but become the boss. You feel what I'm saying? If you love shoes and love fashion, start your own fashion brand. It's gonna suck for a little bit, I'm not gonna lie to you. But once you make it past that curve, you setting yourself up for success, and you're gonna set up your family, set up your legacy. If you want to be a bodybuilder, do that. If you want to be a doctor, if you do that. If you're a pharmacy tech right now, you're like, damn, I want to be a doctor. Go ahead. If you're working in a warehouse right now, you're like, dang, I want to be a dentist. I want to work on teeth. By all means, go for it. But one thing you have to do, and we're going to close this video out, you got to be strong mentally, because on this path, there's going to be a lot of people that's going to try to project things upon you. They're going to try to project the things that they can't do upon you, and they're going to wish that you failed. They want to see you do good. They just don't want to see you do better than them. Be mindful of that. It's going to be a mental battle more than physical. But on semen retention, it's important to think bigger. I challenge you all to think bigger, kings and queens. You got this. If you made it this far, I want to say, whatever it is that's on your heart, it's on your mind, you know, whatever you're going through, depression, anxiety, you're going to push through it. This is just temporary. Understand that? Just keep going, keep pushing. Share this with your mom, your auntie, your cousin, your brother, your uncle, your sister, your dad. Peace and blessings. I'll see y'all next time.